Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Go to asart.space for audio and video links. We like to do deepfakes on this channel. We've done some correcting Harry Potter. We fixed some other stuff, and we cross universes with The Boys and DC and fun stuff like that.
We dab.
We kind of know what we're talking about.
A little bit. But we also know the limitations of it and how it's really hard to get all the way there. And so This was kind of interesting when Nick saw the newest episode of Mandalorian. He's like, you know what, whether you want to watch Mandalorian or not, go ahead and give us a view. And I want you to get your thoughts on the loot. If you have not seen the last Mandalorian episode, do not continue this. Skip forward because we're going to be talking about this specifically. All right, continue. Yes. I almost said it.
Spoilers ahead. We are spoiling stuff, but you probably saw it in the thumbnail already. But basically, deepfakes, they use deepfake technology. That's what I think they use. And I'm pretty sure they use deepfakes on this. And I think it's a smart idea for a TV show budget. It got the point across. And probably within their time limit and the budget. Because it probably costs a fraction of the price to do. A fraction of the price.
Yeah, so I just watched the episode probably about half an hour ago. And, I was just, before we hopped on, I'm like, I wonder what other people are saying about it. A lot of people didn't think it looked as good as Rogue One, with Princess Leia and Grand Moff Tarkin. And then, of course, you had Luke in Rise of Skywalker, but that was very dramatic lighting, and that was probably a best case scenario for that. Mm-hmm. And that's a movie budget, like Nick was saying. So I was reading that the season of Mandalorian, season 2, which we already thought the visual effects were kind of upped more, was about $120 million. Well, a Star Wars movie, just a 2.5-hour movie, has more than that. So like Nick is saying, they had a very limited budget to work with. That's a lot of money, but for a whole season of entertainment of Star Wars stuff especially, that's, you have to budget that in a lot of different places. So Nick, you really think this was deepfake software they used or some type of spin-off of that?
I truly do believe it was deepfake because I could just tell with the stiffness of the character, because like even if it was 3D, they would do tracking of a different person talking, and I think there would be more expression coming from it, but it just seemed very stiff, and every shot was framed so it was a straight on shot. And that's the best you can do for deepfakes. Anytime it's like even like right here or 3/4, the best is like straight on. And we've noticed that like we got very lucky in the Harry Potter one when we fixed Voldemort. All the shots were him in the mirror. Oh, yes, so they were all like pretty much straight on shots. And as it is, we're limited because all the images we were capturing were from the other Harry Potter films. So as it was, we were very limited with the frames that we were getting. It's not like, he was Voldemort in an interview, with full makeup and everything, sitting down with perfect lighting. It was like the hardest lighting to probably even do because it's all extreme and everything. But it worked because it was flat. It was straight on, and everything was straight on except for when he bends down once, and you can even see like almost like a little bit of flickering going on with the face.
You're talking about with Luke?
Yeah, with the Luke.
When he has his hood down and he's lifting the hood, right? Yeah, it almost doesn't look like it's him at first, and that makes you wonder: did they track it in and just kind of blend it in as he was lifting the hood? Which
probably did a quick.
I don't know if it honestly. I can't say for sure if it's deepfake software because it could be that they did the de-aging process, or in the case of Rogue One and Terminator and all these recent Bladerunner 2049, they're actually doing full CG replacement models. They're not doing de-aging like a lot of people are saying. They're actually completely replacing the character. In The Irishman, they did do a lot of de-aging, but I think it was a combination of things, trying to smooth out wrinkles, but also doing some CG stuff. But if they tried to go the traditional route, doing full face replacement, maybe they just didn't have as much time or money to get it to look as good as Rogue One. And Rogue One still looked off. And the big thing people are saying is Leia looked a little bit off because, she only had really one line. It's like, oh, we have a new hope or something like that. But it was very close up. The lighting was there. It's not dramatic lighting. Whereas, like we're talking about Rise of Skywalker, it was very dark, just lightsaber glow and things like that. I think, honestly, the best examples I can think of so far, and we talk about this a lot, but we're getting updated. The new Terminator Dark Fate movie, when they redid Sarah Connor, John Connor, and Arnold, like that looked really good. Still a little bit off, but I think the closest, and other than that, I would say Blade Runner 2049. But I can't say exactly. It was definitely off more than Rogue One in this, but he had a lot more screen time, and he actually was saying a lot more lines. So that's hard too, like Nick was saying, because you have to get all the little teeny tiny adjustments that your mouth does, and that's hard to capture.
Yeah, and for how much he was on screen, and we're probably not going to see Luke again. I figured it was just like a cameo to end the Baby Yoda story. You know what I mean? Because like it's actually a good thing, in my opinion, for the show. It'd be nice to get rid of Baby Yoda and them to explore other avenues and stuff. Like we probably milked Baby Yoda for everything we can milk at this point. Like we're not gonna wait up 3,000 years later until he's an adult or however long it takes for him to grow up or whatever. But you know what? Let us know what you think down below. Like let us know if you think it's a deep fake, if they use the full CG character, and also let us know if it messed with the story at all for you. Like if they paid $1 million+ more to do a full 3D render and stuff, would that even make a difference on overall to storytelling? Because like I think the idea for this was just to tell the story, right? Like even when they built their new thing, like they have the real-time screen stuff, they're not doing a lot of compositing. It's going to save them money probably in the long run, you know, doing multiple shots and stuff like that. Or it's more of like a budget thing just to help the story. Like the story's first, then the effects come, kind of thing. So
what I was just going to say, and if you guys see making ofs, maybe they'll post it on Disney Plus after the season's over, like they did with season 1, where they talked about the Stagecraft and the Unreal Engine stuff. If you guys see some making ofs, we'd be very curious to see that as well, because it could be a combination of things. I mean, when they had Leia at the end of Rogue One, when they had the whole Darth Vader scene, that was added after everything with principal photography was done. They went back and did a bunch of reshoots to add that in. They might have done the exact same thing here. Hey, we need something really significant to round out the season. Do I think that was the best thing? Probably not. But they may have done that at the last minute. Like, hey, we don't have the budget to make this look right. You know, probably the worst face replacement stuff that I've seen was in Justice League when they had to do Superman's upper lip, right? Because he came back to do reshoots. He had a mustache for the Mission Impossible. But that was a case where they could have done it, but the studios put the visual effects companies in a position where, like, well, we have to get this done, but we're not going to be able to look at,
man.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do it as good as we could, and we don't know the story behind this. I mean, it worked fine, but I think more than anything, it was like, was it cool to see Luke Skywalker? I guess, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you're going to do that, you kind of have to go full crazy, like they did with Rogue Squadron or Terminator or Bladerunner 2049, especially if it's a character you know and you've seen a lot, like, you know, like Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker.
And for the show, it gives me hope that they're not going to bring him back by doing this. If anything, it'll be like small little cameos. If they would have had a different actor, then in my mind, I'll be like, oh no, they're doing a freaking spin-off show with Luke. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like, man, what else are they doing? Like the ending, did you watch the ending credits, past the ending credits with Boba?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So like Boba takes over like Jabba the Hutt's palace, and it's like, oh, and then they're like opening a new chapter with Boba Fett, like they're doing a Boba Fett show or something like that. And it's just like, okay, you know, I get it, you know, the character's already there and Disney's all about making money or whatever, but it's such a huge universe, it'll be fun to see new creative ideas. But you know what, we're getting high quality shows, as long as they stay decently quality, you know, with the quality, you know, it'll be great, you know. But once we get that point where it's like the Disney sequels, you guys all know what I'm talking about, when Disney made sequels of like all their animated shows and the quality really dropped. I'm just afraid, knowing Disney's track record, you know, the quality's just gonna drop with the sequels. And
now again, those sequels did not have the same budget. They were straight to video releases, so not really apples to apples in a lot of those cases. But even the ones that are big theatrical releases, you're like, well, at some point, it's hard. I totally understand why game companies and movie studios would go that safe route, because there's so much money. I mean, this is in the middle of the Cyberpunk 2077 release, you guys, with games, and people are so upset about it. I mean, there's so much. It's like there is a lot on the line if you're trying to do a new IP versus playing it safe with, you know, existing IPs and software and stuff like that. But I honestly, so Nick, you think the Baby Yoda stuff is over? I think if they have season 3 and it doesn't do well, they're immediately bringing Baby Yoda back. I mean,
that's not what made the show good, though.
Well, everybody when you think of the Mandalorian, what is the first two things you think of? You think of Mandalorian and you think of Baby Yoda. The episodes I like the most about the show were the ones without Baby Yoda, but everybody loves Baby Yoda. But yeah, guys, if you find making ofs for this, whether it's posted on Disney Plus or elsewhere, please let us know. If you have any inside information on how they did that, or if you're just taking it somewhat minorly educated guess like we are, we'd love to hear how you think they did it as well, because there's a lot of different approaches they could have potentially taken. So hopefully this is kind of a fun conversation. Hopefully it continues on. Leave stuff in the comments and guide us and see what you we'll be looking forward to see what you think. Check out AsArt.space for the audio and video links. We'll see you on the next AsArt. that one.